We all want to be that person, the one people remember from the party, right? The person who's just a great conversationalist. But what if I told you the secret to doing that has almost nothing to do with what you say and everything to do with what you don't say?
I mean, think about it. What if everything we've been told, that you have to be witty, have all these incredible stories, be the life of the party, what if all of that is just completely backward?
Yeah, I know. It sounds a little crazy, right? But stick with me. We're going to dig into this really powerful idea that could totally change how you look at every single conversation from here on out.
Okay, so to really get this, we've got to start with a story. It's kind of a classic, but man, it just perfectly explains this weird, powerful secret. So picture this. The guy who wrote about this whole idea is at a dinner party, and he gets seated next to this really famous, distinguished botanist. And he's feeling a little, out of his league. So he comes up with a super simple plan. I'm just going to listen. And that's what he does. For the whole night, he just lets the botanist talk, and he takes it all in.
So here's what the conversation actually looked like. Our guy, he just lobs a few simple, open-ended questions out there, and then boom, he becomes a completely captive audience. And the botanist, he just goes for it. He talks for hours, super passionately about his life's work. I mean, let's be real, it was basically a monologue.
Okay, but here's where it gets good. Later that night, the host of the party comes over to him, and you're not going to believe this. The host tells him that the famous botanist had been absolutely raving about him, telling everyone he was a most interesting conversationalist.
So wait a minute, that leaves us with a huge puzzle, right? How is that even possible? The guy said next to nothing. How on earth does the person who did all the listening get all the credit for being a great conversationalist? That's the big mystery we need to unpack.
Well, the answer is something called the art of silent mastery, and it's the key that unlocks this whole paradox.
Okay, so here's the big reveal. The reason he seemed so interesting wasn't because of anything brilliant he said. Nope. It was because of how he made the botanist feel. And this is the magic trick right here. By making the botanist feel fascinating and important and truly heard, our guy, in turn, became fascinating to the botanist. That's it. That is the whole secret.
And look, this isn't just some cute, quirky little story. There's some real psychology at play here. And you know who understood this better than almost anyone? The master himself, Dale Carnegie.
Carnegie got that listening isn't passive. It's not just, waiting for a gap so you can jump in and talk. It's an active thing. It's a conscious choice to give someone your full attention, to really absorb what they're saying. And that, right there, is what makes people feel seen and valued.
And this really gets at the core truth of human nature we're talking about. I mean, honestly, when you walk into a room, what are you really most interested in? Your stuff, your thoughts, your problems, your stories. Now, this chart isn't exactly scientific, but it makes the point perfectly, doesn't it?
Carnegie actually put a number on this. He said people are, on average, 100 times more interested in themselves and their own little world than they are in you and yours. And once you really, truly accept that, wow, your entire approach to talking to people can just completely flip.
Okay, so what do we do with all this? That brings us to the final and honestly the most useful part, how to change your goal in a conversation.
Look, most of us are stuck in the old goal mode. We're kind of half listening, just waiting for our turn to speak, to jump in and unload our own stuff. But the new goal, the one that truly interesting people use, is the exact opposite. Your job isn't to talk. Your job is to encourage them to talk, to become like a detective, uncovering their story. And it really boils down to just two simple steps. First, just shift your mindset. Before you even open your mouth, just tell yourself, okay, my goal here is to listen, not talk. And second, actively encourage them to share. And here's a little cheat code. People absolutely love talking about two things, their successes and their problems. Just ask about those, and trust me, you'll never run out of things to talk about. So, next time you're talking with someone, try this. Stop worrying about being the most interesting person in the room. Instead, focus on making them feel like they are. So here's the real question to take with you. This week, who will you make the most interesting person in the room?